Welcome to MMA Fancast. My name is Luke Basin, and I'm honored to have a friend of mine and a friend of the show, Craig Perry, back on the show, the victorious Craig Perry. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
You are about 24 hours removed, just a day ago at Brawl Burgh 18. You fought your first advanced amateur fight, and you packed a lot into one round, back and forth, ended up winning with a very impressive rear naked choke. Talk us through that fight. Even though it was a couple minutes long, I think you had a lot happen. So what was it like in there for you last night?
Yeah, it was a short fight. But if like you said, it felt like a lot happened. I knew he had that long right hand and it was sharp. So watching back, I wish I would have thrown a little bit more on the feet just to like keep it like keep him busier, keep him more occupied. But like once I slipped that right hand that he threw, and then we got up against the cage and then he took me down. From there, like since it was my first advanced AMI rule set fight, I was like, oh wow. So like right now, usually in that point, everyone like kind of relaxes at in like the novice AMI rules because it kind of just turns into a jujitsu match. But in this one, it's like it's almost more intense on the ground than on the feet because now I'm stuck against the cage on my back and he's posturing up, ready for ground and pound. So that was definitely interesting. And then so I just realized like if I'm gonna go, I have to do something now. So I was like, if I wrestle up and get my neck caught in a guillotine for a second, that it is what it is. Like that was my best escape, I think, at the moment, and it ended up working out.
Yeah, I know it didn't last for long, but he was briefly on top. I believe in either half like a almost like I think he was in mount, and he threw a couple punches. You wrestled up, you got up, you changed the position. How did you get to how did you get to rear naked choke? And did you have any? I'm trying to remember. You threw a little ground and pound, but not a lot. What led you to throw in the rear
Yeah.
naked choke? And obviously that sealed the fight for you.
Well, I actually just watched it back not that long ago because they just sent us like the replay thing,
Oh, great! I haven't watched.
and it was funny because oh, you haven't? Well, I think like I know you've been super busy, but I think once you watch it back, you're gonna remember. But you were like spot on because so when I worked up, I got the underhook and I started wrestling up, and he took my neck, and you were like, all Craig has to do is just keep going to the side, and I like did it like right on cue, and you and I like I could tell like that like it was just cool that like just as you said it, I did it in a cage, and then I went for the head and arm choke for like, well, I got in him out. I threw a few punches, but I didn't want him to like escape the position, and I didn't want to throw punches because I feel like a lot of people like they get so excited with the ground and pound, like they almost forget like you can get a submission there and end the fight because he's long and he's got like super long arms. So when he covered up, there's not much room to punch there, and I'm in mount. So I was like, I feel like I see the head and arm, so I went for it, and then he started to escape it a little bit. So I was like, I know we had worked on Chase had helped me like work on like going from a head and arm to a rear naked choke. So I just did what was like in my muscle memory.
Yeah, and that's a great transition. I'm a big fan of the side triangle choke from mount. I know typically you dismount and go to side, but you can finish it from mount. It's a great position to start on it. A lot of guys defend it more if you're on the side mount position and start fishing for it, whereas a lot of guys don't defend for it as well. From mount, particularly if you're throwing punches, I mean, it falls into it. You throw punches, they bring their arm up like this, you grab one of them, and you're already partially into the side triangle choke. You followed that incredibly well. And then from there, if there's any wiggle or turn, you threw in the rear naked choke. At any level that allows ground and pound, there's a balance that you have to find in throwing because a lot of times people get so excited their hips don't stay heavy, and then somebody can like buck out the back door because you're kind of unsettling your hips. So it was a really smart, really wise decision for you. Obviously, you're on a 2-fight win streak. things are coming together. What does it feel like emotionally to fight through? You had some good fights, even though they were losses. You had one that was an injury loss, which is obviously very disappointing. But what was it like now that you've got back-to-back wins? You performed at what was almost the co-main event. You were the fourth to last fight. You were the topper of the card. What was it like going later on the card, because you went from just a little bit ago being 0-3, now you're advanced amateur late in the card? What was that whole transition like for you?
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, it's obviously nice to be like on a win streak, even though it's amateur. It doesn't like the record doesn't matter too much. But I do like the mindset I was in after that third loss, like coming into the fourth fight. I was just in a mindset where it was like it doesn't even matter anymore. Like your own three, just go out there and like literally do everything you can to just like perform. And like if you get taken down, like just fight, and it doesn't matter. Like you know what I mean? Like almost like an all or nothing mindset. So for this one, I tried to have the same mindset. And like I said, I wish I would have done a little bit more on the feet, but like um I just like that. I don't want to get like complacent and be like, oh, I'm 2-3. Let me try to get to 3-3. Like that is what I want to do, but I want to go out there at my next fight and I want to do more on the feet and I want to be able to like perform and like do everything we're doing in training, not necessarily like get a better record. And as far as going later on the card, that was in the back, I feel like everyone, even though no one like says it, everyone in the back knows like it's just a mental game. Like you see everyone preparing differently. Some fighters get real nervous. Some fighters are like really quiet. I like to just like relax and like talk to whoever's next to me. So it wasn't too hard to go later because Kama's an easy person to talk to, and Chris Williams, he's more on the quiet side, but he'll talk to you if you talk to him. And um, one of our jujitsu coaches, Kirk, was there too, and he's great to talk to. So I was just talking in the back, warming up. So going later, it was not too big a deal. I guess it was pretty cool to look back and see that I was like one of the later fights, but it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, well, that's good. Finding the way to manage and balance the nerves and kind of that staying relaxed so you can serve your energy and all those things. Um, to you, what clicked the most in your fight? You've obviously pointed out, I know you're a big Conor McGregor fan. That's what got you training. You've got a very relaxed, kind of that more karate or taekwondo style when you are striking, a very smooth striking, but getting the win and improving on your skills is important. So what do you think clicked the most? You mentioned muscle memory. What did you think was really flowing in there last night?
Um, I think like to be able to just react to whatever happens because I like my ideal goal is to keep it on the feet, strike, and I just that's like what I like to do, and I feel like it's not a common way to win amateur fights on the feet because it is harder, and so I would like that's the thing I want to pursue the most in there because it's like if you can get comfortable on the feet in a striking exchange with small gloves, like the sooner the better, I think. And obviously, you need to have the ground game, like because that's what caused me to go on three. But um, man, I forgot where I was going with this. So you asked me, what was the question again? I was going with it somewhere.
What
Sorry, it's been
what
a long
what
day.
what felt like it was clicking the best for you in there? Was it your
That's
timing,
right.
your range? What was clicking the best for you in there?
I was trying to go like say, just Kama hammers it into us like the fights are so unpredictable that like he hates when people talk about like game planning too specifically for fights because you can't game plan for a fight is that's his mentality. And like for to the most like for mostly I agree because anything can happen in there. Like it wasn't my plan to get a submission finish in the first round at all. But just to like know like the way he has us train in the gym is like under constant tension and pressure and like the sparring like with little gloves is like very hectic. Like we have a bunch of guys like Shaka, we have this new Russian guy, we have Chase, we have all these guys in the gym, and they're all like such high level, high pace that like you never really get a break in there, and it's a good simulation for the fight. So when you get to the fight, you can just react, and I think that's what like makes things click best for me, is just to like go in there, empty mind, and just react to whatever happens.
Sure. Well, that actually makes a lot of sense. And you're now 5 fights into your amateur career. Your next time out will be 6 fights. That's a lot that you can build on and kind of know what works for you. And that's what you said. Everybody, the more you're in the game, the more you figure out what works for you. You're at an incredible gym with Kama and everybody you mentioned around you. Are you at a point where you and Kama would want Jim Mooney and the guys at 247 to look to get you on a December card that's going to close out the year for 247 at Monroeville? Are you guys thinking that far, or are you going to wait to kind of see what ends up happening?
I'm not gonna do the December card because there's a few family things I have going on that they came up late, like towards the like right towards this fight time. Um,
Gotcha.
and it's all good. Like life happens. It's nothing like my life is fine. I have a good life, but there's just some things that I probably should like take care of now. And then I think there's a February card coming up or something. So I'm gonna just stay in the gym, keep my weight good, improve my skills, and then shoot for probably next year.
Well, that sounds great. It's great having you on the show to see you perform, sort of with more spotlight later in the card with the advanced amateur rules. Deal with the ground and pound rule set. It looked like everything's coming together for you so well. So congratulations to you, Craig. For everybody that likes Craig, or really anybody from the Pittsburgh MMA Academy or local MMA, please subscribe to the channel. I have all types of local regional MMA fighters on here. Thanks so much, Craig, and congratulations again.
Thank you so much for having me, Luke. I appreciate you.
Got it. My honor to have you on the show. Have a great night.
You too.